What is up, internet? It's me, Lane Tolkey, back again. I'm actually kind of proud of myself because every time I've tried to make a video in the past, I've said, I'll be back next week, and then I'm not back next week. In fact, I'm never back. So the lighting is definitely a bit different. I'll just insert a picture right here to tell you how fragile all of this is. And then, I don't have a third light. So that little light back there is my phone. So let's try and get this done before my phone dies, because if my phone dies just to make the video look a little bit better, oh, that'd be kind of ridiculous. Now, I live in Chicago, and WCRX is the student-run radio station of Columbia College, Chicago. Literally, Lake Michigan is like 2 blocks away from here. A body of water so big that tourists have asked, what ocean is that? But it is just fresh water, and it gets cold in the winter. And yet, just this past Monday, someone found an alligator in Lake Michigan. So Chicago resident David Castaneda was out on Lake Michigan off of the Waukegan Harbor when he found something floating in the water, and he thought maybe it was a dead salmon. I mean, that's why he was out there in the first place. He was fishing for salmon in his kayak. I need to say real quickly though, I've been living near Lake Michigan for 24 years, and I did not realize that salmon apparently live in this lake. When I think of salmon, I don't think of Lake Michigan. I think of like places like Colorado where there's waterfalls and bears that eat salmon. I don't think of Lake Michigan, so that might be the most surprising thing about the story for me, not the alligator in Lake Michigan, and I'll tell you why in a little bit. Anyway, he went to go check on what was floating in the water, and he found an alligator, not a dead salmon, a 4-foot-long alligator. So he called 911, which was obviously the wise thing to do, and Waukegan Animal Control came in and captured the alligator. And now he's chilling out at Wildlife Discovery Center in Lake Forest, Illinois. Now, the reason why the salmon is a little bit more surprising for me is the fact that I'm quite certain what happened in terms of an alligator ending up in Lake Michigan, as someone got one as a pet. Maybe they're in Florida, I don't know, but they got one as a pet, decided they didn't want to take care of it anymore, and dumped it in Lake Michigan, which makes me angry, and the show is not supposed to be about angry things, but like, if you're gonna get an exotic pet, you gotta know how to take care of it, and you gotta commit. Anyway, let's move on to it. Sorry, hold on, I think that's my job calling. Just kidding, it was a gecko. I'm so sorry for that dorky skit. However, this actually happened to some employees that work at the Kekeola Hawaiian Monk Seal Hospital. So Dr. Claire Simeone was out for lunch on a workday, and suddenly she was getting a call from the hospital, and when she answered, there was no one there, which was a bit concerning, especially because she got 9 calls in 15 minutes. Sounds like it could be an emergency. So just in case something was wrong, she packed up her lunch, headed back to the hospital, only to find that everything was actually calm and nothing was wrong. But she did find out that a bunch of other employees there were also getting a bunch of calls on their phone, and it was from the hospital. It was a hospital number, but every time someone would answer it, there was no one there. So obviously, if a bunch of people who work in one place are getting a bunch of calls, and every time they answer, there's no one there, there's gotta be something wrong with the phone. So she called the phone company in charge of taking care of their phones, Hawaiian Telecom, and they confirmed that a bunch of calls had been sent out to all these people's phones, but they can't really say which phone it was that the problem was coming from. Because it's annoying to get a bunch of calls where every time you answer, there's no one on the other side, she decided to look around the hospital and see if she could find the phone that was causing the problem. And this is what she found. Yeah, like I said, a gecko called me. Well, not me, but the hospital. A bunch, because its tiny little feet were touching little touchscreen, and all these calls were being sent out. And maybe if they had tried harder to get that gecko's attention when it was calling them, they may have gotten 15% off of their car insurance. All corny jokes aside, let's move on to the third story, which actually could be considered a bit sad or depressing, depending on your view on this upcoming season of weather. Parts of the Chicagoland area got their first flakes of snow. I'm not sure how happy I am about that. I don't really want snow. I'm actually pretty sure I experienced the snow, but I was hoping it was just like little ice pellets. Either way, the strange thing is, just a few days before our first little snow of the season, it was legitimately summer outside. It was in the 80s, close to 90 degrees at the beginning of the week, and at the end of the week, it's winter. Welcome to fall in Chicago. Just say it ain't snow. I will not go. Turn these lights off. I'm kidding. I'm definitely a little bit tired. So yeah, our third story was a bit short, but I mean, you can't not talk about snow because half the population's gonna go, woo, first snow, and the other half's gonna go, first snow. So all those, kind of dorky jokes aside, let's move on to a story about The Office, because The Office isn't a show full of kind of dorky, dry jokes. Honestly, I love The Office. It is my #1 favorite TV show. But I gotta be honest, the cold opening that grosses me out the most is the one where Kevin brings in his really big pot of chili and it hits the floor. And oh my gosh, then I cringe every time I watch it. I mean, first of all, I don't really like chili. I don't like beans, but it just hits the floor and he tries to clean it back up so you give it to people. And I feel bad for him, but I'm also so grossed out. But you wanna know what? That cold opening has created a very, very cute Halloween costume. And if I had a kid, I'd probably dress them up like Kevin with his spilled chili. But you want to know what the worst part of all this is? It's not actually a real Halloween costume at this point. Companies, get on this. Whoever makes costumes and sells them at Target and Walmart and Spirit Halloween, get on it. All jokes aside, there probably will be at least one baby dressed up as Kevin with his pot of chili this Halloween. It's a costume that it needs to happen. So I don't have anything weird to try today, unfortunately. What I'm gonna do instead is show you 2 really cute videos that I saw throughout this past week. This first one is from @Summer95 on Twitter. She had an empty Pepsi Cola box and decided to sort of look through it with her kitten looking up at her through it, and it turned into a little bit of a kitten rocket launch. So, I mean, I love cats. I really do. I had a pet cat and I miss her, but I'm a bit more of a dog person. So this video of these puppies not quite knowing how to walk on a tile floor yet is one of the best things I have ever seen. I hope those videos make up for the fact that I'm not trying a strange food today. After I'd already filmed the video last week and could not come back to film, I came up with the title and totally forgot to talk about it in my intro. So I'm calling this series Trends with WCRX, whether or not they actually were like trending and everyone knew about it, or it's just something I happened to come across and think it's worth trending and sharing. But it's a better name than nothing. Also, I don't have a set upload time yet, other than Sundays. Last week, technology was the biggest pain in the butt, and it actually technically went up at like 2 a.m. on Monday morning. I'm trying to get these up by at least 9 p.m. Central on Sunday nights. So tentatively, our upload time is going to be 9 p.m. But definitely every Sunday. Because I don't have the exact hour yet, make sure you hit that bell when you subscribe. And if you liked this video, hit the like button, because I would just love it if you did. But thank you for watching this video. Again, I still want to say thank you for tuning in, because I know I've actually I have 2 shows on this station, and I haven't even talked about either of them. I did not give myself a shameless plug last week like I probably should have. If you want to hear me on the air instead of see me and hear me talk about shows, I do an alternative rock show on Thursday nights from 7 to 9 p.m. Central, of course. And on Saturday nights, 7 to 9 p.m. Central, a jazz show. Definitely not the most kind of related shows, but I love both of them. They're a lot of fun. The fact that they're different is why I do both of them. So you can catch me here every Sunday. You can catch me on air Thursday nights and Saturday nights. And if I'm gonna be honest, I won't be surprised if I come up with some other project before I graduate, even though we are like halfway through October. Thank you guys for watching. I'll be back next Sunday. Big